We did 2 pilots for Big Bang. The first one was Sheldon and Leonard. They're walking down the street and they meet a girl on the stoop. And they take her in to live with them, and the girl was a hooker. So for some reason that didn't work.
What is your evaluation of the health of the multicam sitcom now?
This is my 42nd year of doing it. I've attended 8 funerals of the death of the multi-camera sitcom. It always comes back. You know, television is an imitative medium. It's not an innovative medium. It's really hard in television to be innovative because the people who are making the decisions know from what's gone before. They don't know necessarily about innovation. You have to have, you sneak into town. Will and Grace snuck into town. Maybe the following year there'll be another multicam that will exhume the body from the grave.
But you see it as cyclical.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's like a tide.
Yeah.
Anything on the radar in your mind that says it would create a new high tide?
Well, I thought Modern Family would do it.
Haley, your dad's on the phone. He says it's urgent.
He's with the surgeon?
I think he said sturgeon.
I thought that would really help, but it's been a while.
Was there an unaired pilot of Big Bang?
Yeah, we did 2 pilots for Big Bang. The first one was, we had the 2 same boys, Johnny and Jimmy. They're nerds, same characters, Sheldon and Leonard. They're walking down the street and they meet a girl on the stoop. And they take her in to live with them, and the girl was a hooker. So for some reason that didn't work, and then he went back and rewrote it and put 2 more nerds and a sweet girl across the hall, and then that's all she wrote.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Did you have an inkling as to what it would become?
No.
On that pilot?
No. The audience was laughing, especially at Jimmy Parsons. They didn't understand what he said, but they understood the intent. So you had a fresh character there, this guy spewing all this stuff.
I think it also kind of dovetailed with the way in which we've fallen in love culturally with nerds, right?
Yeah.
We're all about tech and coding and Elon Musk.
It's, you know, it's amazing.
You talk about proving yourself in a pilot in all your projects. Netflix, though, some of these other streaming services, they don't demand it, right? They will buy the season with a lot of creative freedom.
Right.
Interesting to you or not?
I may do a show for Netflix, or at least a pilot for Netflix. I'll have to see what it's like if it comes to fruition. It's a fascinating form. It's certainly doing well in the Emmys.
When you see Jeff Bezos at the Golden Globes winning.
It's a new form. It's binge watching right up there. I did watch Breaking Bad and thought it was incredible, and I do watch Better Call Saul.
But you're not a binge watcher
No,
anymore.
I'm not a binge watcher.
We asked Gary Marshall whatever happened to the TV theme song, and his answer was they want to jam in an extra 40 seconds of jokes.
It's not jokes, it's commercials. Cheers was 24 and a half minutes content. Now it's 20 and a half minutes. There's 4 minutes taken out of the show for commercials. So what you have to do is you have to eliminate the theme song because, you know, it's 30, 45 seconds.
One more reason to experiment with Netflix.
Yeah, there you go.
Of your TV successes, which would not get made today?
Maybe Friends.
There's nothing to tell. It's just some guy I work with.
Come on. You're going out with the guy. There's got to be something wrong with him.
Because?
Seems like an average show, the perception of it. 6 people sitting around in a coffee house talking. Also, there's a problem. They test more now than they've ever tested. They have little dials that they use. If they don't like a moment, they turn down the dial. If they do like a moment, they turn up the dial.
It's like political polling.
Yeah, it's crazy now. It never was in the old days. If they had tested like Cheers, they would have made us replace Shelley Long.
Ah, military ID. First Sergeant Walter Keller, born 1944.
Because Diane in the pilot is the alien. She's the naysayer. She's not a member of the bar. They put shows on the air that test well, and sometimes they're not great shows.
Because they're unwilling to put on a character that isn't instantly sympathetic?
When you're shooting pilots, you always have people coming to you say, oh no, he's unlikable at that moment, you can't do that. And we always have to say, no, he's unlikable so they can be likable at the end. He has to redeem himself to show he has dimension.
I was going to ask you if you thought you could cast Friends with stars. Obviously, you didn't on purpose.
This is not even a date. It's just two people going out to dinner and not having sex.
Sounds like a date to me.
All the really big successful shows are shows that started with really unknowns. And so that America adopts them and they start to blossom. So I'm not sure Friends would have been as successful.
How do you prep an actor for a moment that will be truly pivotal in the series, right? Getting ready for a Ross and Rachel or a Goodbye Diane.
I'll see you in 6 months. Okay?
Okay.
As the actor becomes accustomed with the character, they know what to do. I mean, to me, one of the great moments that I did not know would get the reaction it got was in the prom video episode of Friends, which I did, at the last moment when Rachel finds out that Ross was heartbroken about her going to prom with somebody else. Jennifer makes a long cross around, and you don't know what she's going to say to him, and she kisses him, and the audience went crazy. I didn't know that moment would be that big, but I knew, for instance, I knew that when Sam said goodbye, Diane, it would be huge.
Have a good life.
I did all the Will and Graces, 196, I think. Love that show.
You've talked about it like it has a special place.
Well, my favorite, my baby is Cheers. It's, to me, my favorite show. My second favorite is Will and Grace, which I think is probably the most outrageous and funniest show I ever did.
Nurse Sheila, you were once my nurse at the sperm clinic.
I'm not so good with faces. Drop your pants, I'll see if it rings a bell.
Is it harder to make audiences laugh now because of what cable has freedom-wise, the R-rated nature of comedy that exists off-network?
No.
They're not hardened or coarsened in any way?
The genius of Will and Grace was the euphemism.
Milk, milk, lemonade. Around the corner, fudge is made.
You'll find phrases that she uses for body parts or sexual acts that, in a strange kind of way, are funnier than the actual word. So I'm a big guy for euphemism.
Cast seems to be into a reunion. You, not so much yet.
Reunions are hard. You want to remember them the way they were. It's like old girlfriends. You want to preserve this image. It gets kind of innocence of youth and stuff like that. So reunions are not, I don't recommend them.
Careers that you're most proud of launching?
Mine?
Element of surprise right there.
I got to go back to shows that, I can't do Mary Tyler Moore because they were all there when I showed up. Danny, Chris Lloyd, and Andy Kaufman. Judd was already established. On Cheers, everybody, including Woody, who, of the cast of Cheers, who would you think would become the movie star? Woody Harrelson. You would have never bet on that. In Taxi, who would become the movie star? Danny DeVito? Never.
Best comedic mind in TV today?
Well, Chuck Lorre, I think. And David Crane, David and Jeffrey, who write episodes, and Larry David, who I love.
She's beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
I don't like what that says about you.
I think he's genius.
You did Taxi. Could you do a sitcom about Uber?
Sure. Again, it's the execution of that idea, but it seems like an interesting idea.
Why?
People are very familiar with it. You'd have to figure out a way. Is it about a driver or the guy who owns it?
Hey CNBC fans, I'm Carl Quintanilla. Thanks for watching CNBC's Binge on YouTube. You can subscribe by clicking right here, Watch all of our interviews on the changing media landscape. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch more from CNBC. Thanks for watching.